Oh, but it must be easy for you. This is the comment I got the other day. It must be easy for you. You've always been fit. You've always done this. You just get up and go every single day. I think this is actually one of the big misconceptions about people who are in shape, who exercise regularly, who do the work, all that kind of stuff, that it's just this easy, no-brainer thing, that every day is an easy workout. I even get clients and they're like, oh, but you're not sore, like you don't get sore. And I was like, absolutely I fucking get sore. As long as I'm working hard, I'm gonna get sore. Like, that's the whole definition of it, that if you push yourself and you work hard, your muscles are going to end up sore. It's not the goal, but it is a byproduct of giving immense effort and pushing yourself beyond your limits, that you will end up being sore at some points. And this is part of it, but there is this illusion that just because I'm fit, that this is easy for me. No. There are still days I don't want to fucking borrow this. There are still days I would much rather sleep in. There are still days I would much rather just go home and do fuck all. But I make a definitive choice, you know? And there are still days where it kicks the shit out of you. Today was one of them. I cannot tell you what the reason for it was. Whether it's just didn't sleep well, or just overly tired, had a big week. I don't know. I don't know what it was, but it kicked the shit out of me today. It was such a grind. That weighted walk was way slower. Still got 3.8 Ks, but I'm not happy with that effort. I'm not happy with how that ended up because it was slow. And I got to the end of it and I was like, fuck, I need to go take a nap or something. Like, I need to go have a lay down. That has just brutalized me. But that's not what's on the agenda. One, I'm here. Two, I'm going home to my babies. I'm going home to my kids. It's family time. And so, though this is an immensely important component of my life, and I do this to show up as the best version for my children and lead by example, doesn't mean that when I'm tired from that, I get to go home and slack off. It doesn't mean I get to go home and fuck around. It means I have to go home and show up as the best version of myself, to be present, to be a part of that, to listen, to play, to be willing and ready to do whatever is required. You know, that's just part of the game. So no, this isn't easy for me. This isn't a cakewalk. This isn't something that just comes naturally to me. As I've said quite a few times before, if I didn't find fitness and I didn't find this drive and this passion, I have zero doubt in my mind that I would be an obese, alcoholic, drug addict, and I would just sit on my couch and I would watch TV and I'd play video games and I'd just piss away my life. And that calling's still there. You know, I don't do this because I don't like food. I don't do this because I don't like alcohol. I don't do this because I find it easy. I do this because it's what's good for me, and I find joy in the journey and the challenge from that. But I very much would love many nights a week to go home, buy a large, extra large pepperoni pizza, double pepperoni pizza actually, with garlic aioli, 2 to 3 pints of Ben & Jerry's strawberry cheesecake, good bottle of wine, and then finish with some whiskey. That sounds fucking amazing to me. But I don't do that shit because that doesn't serve my highest good. That doesn't serve my life. That doesn't benefit me in the ways that I want to and need to. It doesn't allow me to show up as the best version of myself. So I don't make those choices. And it's really that simple. That I have decided what is most important to me. And most important to me is showing up as the best version of myself. Is feeling my best. even though some days you still won't. But I can guarantee you, if you're not doing the things, there are going to be more days that you don't feel your best. But I choose this, to lead by example, to lead a healthy lifestyle, to be fit and in great shape so that I can do anything I want. Because yeah, today kicked the shit out of me, but I still covered 3.8 kilometers in 45 minutes with a 20 kilo weight vest on my back. I still got a workout in. I still stick to my meal plan. Like, I still get that shit done and feel good about it. And that's still a higher level than most people could do. And I worked on my mental toughness. I worked on my mental fortitude today. I improved that game. I put credit in the bank for the days that, don't want to do it. I've got proof of concept that I can overcome and I can get shit done regardless of how I feel about the situation. And that's what's so important. That's something that matters deeply. That you build that credibility, that you build up the evidence of that for yourself, for others, for all of that. You create this proof by keeping your word. And that no matter how difficult it is, that you can do it. So no, it's not easy, and it never gets easy. This is the other perception that people have about this. That, you do this for long enough and it gets easy. No, it's still incredibly difficult. It's still taxing. It's still hard. But if I can compare it to where I was, 200 days ago, if I tried to take on those workouts, I would crush them in a heartbeat. I'd be able to do them in my sleep. I could do them without a second thought. And that's what it's about. That it doesn't get easier, you just get better. And that's the difference. You still have to make it hard. You still have to push through. You still have to do the work. You still have to challenge yourself regularly with these tasks so that it doesn't get easy. We talk about them all the time. There's a few people, and I've had this discussion with a couple of people, where they're like, oh, there's these people at the gym and they go to the gym all the time and nothing ever changes. Well, yeah, they're doing exactly the same thing they were last week and the week before and 3 months ago and 6 months ago and a year ago and 3 years ago. Of course nothing fucking changes. Yes, it's better than doing nothing. I will 100% grant you that. But nothing's going to change because you don't challenge yourself. The growth comes from challenging yourself. The growth comes from pushing yourself. The growth comes from being pushed outside your comfort zone and forced to adapt. You don't change from nothing happening. It's like the concept of, so if you had a building and it gets hit by an earthquake, if you rebuilt it, would you build it exactly the same, knowing that it completely crumbled the last time you got hit by an earthquake? No, you'd build it better and stronger and more sturdy. And then it hits again, and it only partially crumbles this time. So you rebuild it again, and you build it stronger and better. And then the next time it comes, nothing happens. Fantastic, you've won. But now you just stay the same. Nothing progresses if you keep throwing the same stimulus at it. And that's the same here, that you need to throw new stimulus, you need to throw new challenges at yourself so that you can grow, so that you can adapt. That's part of the game. That's part of this process, is that you have to grow and adapt with this. That you don't just settle, because then it will also be forever hard because you're not actually improving. And this is the catch. It comes back to that saying of, you can either choose an easy life and have the easy path and have a hard life, or pick the hard path and have an easy life. What you put out is what you get back. If you're constantly choosing the quick fix, the easy route, the simple answer, your life is going to be difficult. It's going to suck. Things are going to come kick you in the nuts and you will not be able to handle it. Or you can choose the hard path and you can battle test yourself and you can push yourself and you can challenge yourself so much that when life comes, it's easy. It's cruisy. I saw this quote the other day about the Spartans, and it was talking about their training and this concept that they They trained so hard that when they went to war, they considered it a holiday from training. Imagine that. And you have prepared so diligently and with so much effort and attitude that when you actually get to the point of what you've been training for, it's like a holiday because it's so easy. That's what you want your life to be like. That's what you want everything in your life to show up as. And it starts here. It starts with the physical fitness. I push myself and I thrash myself so that when I get into circumstances where I need to be able to perform, I do so well. I find it effortless. Effortless. Because that's the point. That you should train so hard that the game is easy. You know? And that's what we're working towards. The game of life should be easy. But because you've put in the work, because you put in the time, then you put in the effort. So no, this isn't easy for me, but that's by design. It's by design of making this as hard as possible so that I can overcome, so that I can push forward, so that I can be the best version of myself. And that's what we're working on. So this perception that people who are good at something or have discipline or have focus, it's easy for them. Generally, it's not. Generally, it's that they've just decided that this is what's happening. Generally, it's that they've dedicated themselves to the process and therefore they've made it much easier for themselves because they're doing the work, because they're showing up and winning the day. And that's the difference. That they have made the choices to constantly do the work. So it looks effortless. So it looks easy. So it looks like they're winning without effort. It's why, professional athletes look like they're not even trying, but they're working their ass off. But because they've spent so many years working their ass off in practice, that when they get to the game, it does look effortless. It looks like they're barely trying. And that's the point. But you have to make that choice. You have to show up and do the work. You have to show up and commit to the process. And then it gets easier. And then you make it harder. And then that, what used to be really difficult for you, becomes so cruisy. We had it with a client the other day. His wife said to him, and he was like, "Have you ever been going to the gym?" Because, since coming to see me, he walks around the house, sore all the time. He's like, "Oh, my body hurts." She's like, "What were you doing all that time?" And the answer was not much. The answer was he wasn't pushing himself. The answer was yes, he was consistent, and yes, he showed up. But to what capacity is a whole different ballgame. At what capacity is not the level that was delivering results. In 2 weeks, I delivered better results than he'd seen in the previous 6 months of training. And that comes from, he was doing something, but he wasn't working hard enough. And I think effort is often the missing ingredient. It's the thing that people are lacking, because you can have a bad program and give it 200% and get better results than a perfect program that you give 50% to. And that's what counts. So you need to show up and you need to give it your all. And of course, I have people who are like, "Oh, but then you'll overtrain. Oh, you'll burn yourself out." I doubt it. Most people have never worked hard enough in their life to actually be even close to burnout. So let's just start with actually putting in fucking effort. Let's just start with actually going to work and grinding on that, and then seeing where we end up. And then we can talk about burnout, and then we can refine it back. But you're not going to burn out in 30, 60, 90 days. It is a consistent process over long periods of time. And beyond that, usually it's not the effort that's put out that's the issue, it's the recovery that's put in that is the issue. So if you feel like you're burning out, you need to focus on your recovery. You need to focus on your sleep. You need to focus on your nutrition. You need to focus on what you're doing to your body. You focus on your stress levels. These are the things that will actually determine your burnout, not the level of exercise that you're undertaking. We as humans were meant to do immense amounts of exercise. We were meant to go all day. We weren't meant to sit in a chair and do fucking nothing. We were meant to run and jump and climb, and even when we were resting, we would squat down. We wouldn't just sit. We were meant to go all day. So we need to look at it at that point and realize that you are untapping your potential, that you have so much untapped potential left on the table because you haven't done the work. And that's the difference. That no, it isn't easy for me. No, there are still days where it's a grind. No, I don't wake up every single day motivated as hell to fucking do this. But my discipline carries me through. My discipline forces me through my workouts. My discipline gets me into the gym to do what is required. That's my discipline. It's not motivation. It's not because it's easy. It's not because I was gifted something else. It was a definitive choice, and then I have discipline and consistency to back it the fuck up. That's what separates me. That's what makes the difference. And that's how you can get there too. Because all it starts with is that one fucking decision. It starts with making that first decision that you are going to do the work. That you are going to go all in. That you have decided that enough is enough and you want to do the work. That's it. Then just follow through. Like all the things I teach, it's simple. It's not easy, but it's fucking simple. All you have to do is decide. All you have to do is make that decision that this is what's happening. And then you go from there. And you just do it every single day. I was having a discussion with a friend just yesterday. And it's like being an addict. So you just start with one day. And then you do the next day. And you do the next day. You don't think about stringing together 210 days. It's too daunting. It's too much. You can't fathom it. So you start with one. And you just win today. And if you win today, boom, tick it off. And then you focus on winning tomorrow. And the next day. And the next day. And you just focus on winning one day at a time. And suddenly you've stacked so many wins together that you've become a different man. And that's how you make a change in your life. And that's how you get to the point where it's never going to be easy, but your discipline makes it simple. It's not easy, but it's fucking simple. And your discipline makes it simple because you made the decision that you were going to do this. You made the decision that you needed to get this shit done. You made the decision that you were that man. Now fucking act like that man. So if you're ready for that, if you're ready to act like the man that you know you should be, send me a message. Let's get you into chasing greatness. Let's start with a 30-day challenge. Let's transform your mental toughness. Let's build some fucking discipline. And then we can start stacking some wins. If you're not quite there, click the link in my bio and grab my top 10 tools to transform your mental toughness. And lastly, if you took value from this, if you enjoyed it, please like, comment, subscribe, help me get the word out. Let's spread this and get more information out there. I'm trying to create a movement. I'm trying to lead from the front and just show you how I'm living my life, and so that you can improve your life at the same point. And I'll be back here every single day. I'm here every day with more information on how to do this to inspire you to lead by example. So please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll be back again tomorrow.